Imagine waking up one morning and the sun is simply gone. No sunrise, no warmth, no light. Just an eerie, endless night covering the planet. What would happen if the sun disappeared for 24 hours? The consequences would be far more terrifying and fascinating than you might think. Let's explore this cosmic scenario in depth. The sun is the gravitational anchor of our solar system. Its mass accounts for 99.8% of all the matter orbiting it. In our scenario, imagine that the sun simply vanishes. Not an explosion, not a gradual fade. It just disappears instantly. At the exact moment of disappearance, Earth would continue to move along its current trajectory for about 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That's how long it takes sunlight to reach Earth. For those 8 minutes, we wouldn't even know the sun was gone. But once those final photons arrive, the world would be plunged into immediate and total darkness. It would be night everywhere. Humans are psychologically tied to daylight. The sudden loss of the sun would create instant panic. Power grids would be overwhelmed as people turn on lights. Emergency services would be flooded with calls. News networks would scramble to explain the blackout. Air traffic would face massive disruptions. Pilots rely on visual navigation as well as instruments. The unexpected darkness could result in mid-air confusion and potential accidents. Within hours, Earth's surface temperature would begin to drop rapidly. Without the sun's constant energy, temperatures would fall by roughly 10 degrees Celsius, 18 degrees Fahrenheit, every hour. Within 24 hours, the average global temperature could fall to around minus 17 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Fahrenheit, colder than the coldest places on Earth today. Some regions closer to the equator might fare slightly better temporarily, but polar regions would become unimaginably frigid almost instantly. The loss of sunlight would disrupt atmospheric circulation. Wind patterns driven by temperature gradients would collapse. Ocean currents, heavily reliant on solar heating, would also slow down or halt. Storm systems would begin to falter. Weather as we know it would cease, replaced by eerie stillness or unpredictable chaos, depending on regional geography. Plants require sunlight to perform photosynthesis. With no light, photosynthesis would stop immediately. Plants would stop producing oxygen and food. Crops would begin to die. Animals that depend on plants would soon face starvation. The food chain would begin to unravel, starting at the very bottom. Human agriculture would collapse almost overnight. Greenhouses with artificial lighting might survive temporarily, but they couldn't feed billions. Humans evolved with a circadian rhythm tied to the sun. Without sunlight, people would experience severe disruptions to their sleep cycles, mood, and mental health. Governments would declare states of emergency. Martial law could be enacted in some regions. The breakdown of civil order would be a real possibility as resources dwindle and panic spreads. But there's another terrifying factor: gravity. The sun's gravity keeps Earth in orbit. Without it, Earth would travel in a straight line at its current velocity, about 107,000 kilometers per h, 66,000 miles per hour. The moon, still orbiting Earth, would continue temporarily, but its path might destabilize without the sun's gravitational pull anchoring the whole system. The entire solar system would start to unravel, with planets drifting off into interstellar space. Satellites, especially those in geosynchronous orbit, would lose alignment as Earth's trajectory changes. GPS, communication, and weather satellites would become unreliable or useless. Space agencies like NASA would be paralyzed. Spacecraft dependent on solar panels would quickly lose power. After 24 hours, most surface organisms would already be facing severe stress. Some extremophiles, organisms that live deep in oceans near thermal vents, might survive longer. But for most life on Earth, including humans, long-term survival would require artificial habitats, nuclear or geothermal power sources, and highly controlled environments. Now, imagine the sun suddenly reappears after 24 hours of darkness. The reintroduction of sunlight would create massive thermal shocks across the planet. Massive storms would form due to abrupt heating. Flash floods from rapidly melting ice could devastate low-lying areas. Agriculture would take months or years to recover. Entire ecosystems would have been disrupted, and some species might be permanently lost. If prepared in advance, humanity might survive such a short-term disappearance using stored resources, artificial light, and underground shelters. But without preparation, billions could die within days from cold, starvation, or chaos. Even a brief disappearance of the sun would remind us how fragile life on Earth truly is, and how utterly dependent we are on this single star. The sun isn't just our light source, it's our lifeline. Its disappearance, even for a single day, would be catastrophic beyond imagination. It's a chilling reminder of just how delicately balanced our existence in the universe really is.